Welcome everyone to another thrilling Steel Division 2 game. Today we have a exciting Division 1 game from the Steel Division 2 Discord server. With me co-casting is going to be the Graham Slam. Graham, would you like to introduce the players and talk a little bit about the, tournament going on here?
Sure, right on. I can probably go ahead and accomplish both of those. Real quick, on the right in the red, we have ColonelKoneig playing as Group Doty, Maverick, and then on the left here in the blue, we have Adan. Josein is going to go Adan, I think I was going to say, and he's playing 9th Panzer Maverick as well, and we're on Kozritsa, so one of the newer, quote-unquote, maps put out by Eugen over the past couple of years. It's in my opinion, it's an okay map. I don't love it, don't hate it, so it's fine. It has some dynamic elements to it. It can be a little grindy in certain areas, especially with Maverick on Maverick, but yeah,
it is not a bridge map, though.
Gameplay. So, no, it's not a bridge map. So we're expecting high-level gameplay here, essentially, with the matchups, and the Group Doty is very interesting. I don't know if I would consider it a great div. I don't think it's a bad div. It's kind of weird. 9th Panzer to me is good. It's a standard kind of Panzer division, though it does have pretty decent SPW options, and it does get the G43 Panzer Grenadiers, which are pretty sexy. So that's something to kind of look forward to. Up in the north, we do see heavy push there by ColonelKoneig. Yeah, and that push is going to work. A Stern Pioneer, Panzer Gren, Pioneer Fuhrer, that's not enough to hold that back. We do see Adan does have the little Panzerjäger 35s. Those could be really useful.
They hit above their weight with that 47 mil. That Italian gun just chef's kiss.
I think I would rather just use SPWs, though. I mean, I guess it would just really depend. Like, if you're like 352nd, you probably have to bring them out, right?
Yeah.
Because I do think, what's the big thing with 9th? 9th has a weird thing where it's, no, it's not too weird. Yeah, but as SPWs, it's got, it's got Panzer IIs. Yeah, so I don't know if you need it. I guess would probably be my big thing in the interview. Because he also brings the Martyr 3 F-22, which is weird. You know, a couple of those weird, late war German vehicles out.
To be fair, the fact that it is a 25-point SPG that can hit above its weight, and do what it's doing right now and just hold a point, I really like how he's using it. And we're seeing that group of Drodi, how their infantry are really good, so I really like them on this map, and how they're just steamrolling over Adam Josein's position here. But I want to know, if we look in the southern and central portion, is he actually making a push? Because no, he's really not. We're not.
No, Kirkland's kind of chilling right now, and then Josein's probably what I would imagine is he wants to play the middle of the field. He has a lot of 2 kilometer, if I can speak properly. Dang, you infected me with that. Range. He's going to want to be able to use that as kind of like to dominate the middle portion and eventually kind of flex onto those roads. He needs to kind of stabilize. Adan does the northern portion. You don't want ColonelKoneig being able to just kind of run free. Now, he did buy an artillery piece early. Kind of little iffy on that call. It's not expensive. It's not like it's backbreaking. Yeah. But ColonelKoneig's moving faster than the artillery piece can shoot currently.
I mean, to be fair, it is a 45-point artillery piece.
Oh, yeah,
if it can help, swing some of these infantry fights, because I think it does have radio as well. It does have radio. But we're not seeing any radio shit here, so...
See, right there, that's really important. ColonelKoneig's fallback micro is excellent right there. That's the best I've seen in probably the past month of casting. That's what you expect to see from someone of his caliber. Quickly get your fallback orders in if you run into a bad engagement right there. Saving the Gommiers is important. They're a very heavy-duty infantry unit, but they are not going to do well against Stern Pioneers inside of heavy force. We do see the push kind of coming in towards the middle here for ColonelKoneig, trying to apply some more pressure.
Yeah.
AB rifles getting pinned there by the MG42, which you expect, but that will open it up to damage from the Stuart. So you're going to want to see a fallback right there on that MG42.
Oh, he's getting it out of it. No, he purposely pulled it out.
Moved it. Yeah. Yeah, and here you're going to want to use those light vehicles if you're Adan to kind of tag team. I wouldn't want the Panzerjäger 35T 1v1ing any of them on their own, because both the Stuart and the M8 have faster rate of fire as well, and the maximum pin doesn't matter because all these are light-skinned units. So you kind of want to, I would typically want to have a 2v1 situation if you can create it. It's obviously not a guarantee. Oh, an M10 call out from ColonelKoneig from his tank tab there. It's you can tell because of the char in front of it.
Perfectly sexy there. Well, we also have the Martyr 3 F-22s coming in, and honestly, for what we're seeing on the armor on the field right now, the F-22s will do all you need, and for the cost of 40 points. So I'm curious to see how that's going to go. One thing I'm going to
the downside of the 22 though is that it's only 1,500 meter range. It doesn't get the 1,750 of the standard Martyr 2.
But for the most part, unless you're fighting against the M10s, everything in the Allied tank tab is pretty much 1,500 meters.
Yeah, yeah, it's more than enough for any of that. The M10 could be a problem in the right situation.
Yeah. I'm going to point out that these Panzer Grenadier G43s hitting these Chugomia Eclairs, the recon boys with their sniper rifle, they actually won the pin fight between the two units just because those two MG42s put out such suppression. Oh, up north though. Oh, we're seeing Koenig push through. Or
Well,
attempt to.
yeah, he's trying to. The Stern Pioneers are going to be a big problem for him. He just doesn't have a very good answer to them.
Yeah.
He can whittle them down. There's only one card of Stern Pioneers, so it's not like it's a long-term solution in holding that northern position for Adan. But the two artillery pieces now have been brought up. They are trying to do some damage here, and they're succeeding. They're whittling on some HP. Killing the 37 might be nice there. Though ColonelKoneig kind of shifting his vehicles laterally up there, while in the middle, the Guerrilla has spotted something. What's the Guerrilla shooting?
Oh no, the Guerrilla's actually on a fire position. Yeah, so
it's a very smart move.
So that's Adan right there, actually just having the Guerrilla just constantly push out, because it doesn't matter if the round hits, it's going to push out all that suppression in that area, and that's what he's looking for right now, is just a suppression fight. This is really high-level play right here from D1's players.
Unfortunately, the Hotchkiss is a little outside of the range there, so you're not going to get a ton of suppression.
Yeah. F-22 kills off a Greyhound in the southern portion, yep.
Yeah, we do see that 22 there, along with the SP-234, which you kind of expect to see those a little more aggressively used in the opening. Those clown cars are there for a reason. Especially on some of these roads. If you look on Kozritsa's mainline roads going into the town area, you could actually set up anti-tank guns that can fire like almost clear down. Like especially on Adan's side, you can get like a PaK-40 setup that can almost go like straight 1750 meters and snipe transport. So it's kind of curious you don't see anything kind of like that there. Yeah. So M8s are pushing up along with M5s. See, what's he trying to get there? He's trying to get that 234. Oh. Yeah, and unfortunately, it doesn't miss right there for Adan.
If we look at Koenig, look at him opening up the northern flank right now, like completely trying to bust it open.
Yeah, he's just trying to flex the field here. He wants to get out of the engagement. A bomber could solve that problem for him. Now, the issue is there's now a mobile wagon on the field. Right, so the opportunity there is kind of gone. We also see a 57 M1 buy form going towards the kind of like middle portion, which is a little interesting because I'd be worried about them getting spotted because a Guerrilla will eat them for lunch. So right now, both players are kind of losing that initial, momentum, right? Like it's starting to kind of die down, and you're starting to see these fights take a more static nature. I mean, these artillery guns have now been firing for Adan for a significant period of time. Like, I mean, there's only 6 HE rounds left on that one, that first Zis. Yeah, MA doing a little bit of damage. Yeah, I don't think Adan's going to have too much success up north in the immediate sense, but if he piles up enough this light armor, I think it's possible he could do it. Oh, the 37 getting almost sniped there by the 234 is nice.
Yeah, I'm going to point out, too, that these Zis 3s are actually being manually targeted, so he's not doing the defensive fire trick that we always talk about.
Here we go. Here's the P-47.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm surprised it took so long for that to come in. ColonelKoneig, he plays a lot of French divisions for a reason, right? Just look at his name. Been doing that for the entire time at SD2. It's I would expect to see an early P-47 from him, especially in a mirror matchup when it comes to the incomes here.
Yeah.
And that's kind of that bomb drop there, followed up by let's see if we can get in there and kind of follow it up, because he did lose one of the Gommiers, I believe that's how you pronounce that, Gommier squad. Yeah, and you don't really want to lose them because you don't get a lot of them, and they are extremely thick. Like the 22 HP, it's almost borderline broken in my opinion. Oh, 234 actually engaging with an M10 with the heat shell. He might get the bounce right there, but he did get a penetrating shot on one of ColonelKoneig's M10s, which is actually, that's not bad for the vehicle. Losing the vehicle sucks, but getting a penetrating shot on the M10, not quite. You got value out of it.
He did get value out of it, considering the fact that the M10s that he has are few and far between, basically, because he's got an A phase card of like 4 in his tank tab, and then a B phase 6 in his anti-tank.
Yeah, and the M10s in these kind of maps can be really effective because there isn't too much 2K going down. There's only this one portion in the north, really, so they can do well. It's like Tigers, Tigers here I don't really think are a great answer. I would just use like Panzer IVs or Shermans and stuff like that, because you're going to be engaging too much below like 1,500 meters. So the M10 pretty tanky for him in this match, in this individual setting. But you don't want to getting pinned by an SPW. Like, that always hurts.
Two things.
That northern push is working, though. The northern push is working.
Real quick, in the center portion, the smoke play from Koenig, perfect. Also, the positioning from Adan, where he has these G43 Grenadiers only engaging a small pocket, also great. And now we're going to go back up north. And Jesus, he's pushing through up here with some light armor. But we have those 35.47 mils.
Yeah, and that's where you see like the faster rate of fire there. Though you see that Panzer 35 going to try and get one more shot off, and it might kill the Stuart, and it will.
Kills the Stuart, yeah.
Yeah, it being vetted right there was actually pretty huge. The little having the efficiency bonus that should rectify that. Should go back to 12-12. It briefly went to 15-9. It was fake 15-9.
Yep.
Wasn't real. There's not enough momentum like for a real double tick to happen here. There's too much substance for both players. Yeah. But the northern position is a bit of a problem for, I mean, we call him Adan or Adan. He doesn't have an E, so.
Adan.
Okay. I just wanted to, make sure we're saying the same name.
Hey, in the chat, correct us if we're wrong, because I know you guys watch these things, because you like being casted like I like casting you guys, so like and subscribe.
Wow. And comment. But yeah, you see the radio mortar for the 81mm doing some really good suppression and damage there for ColonelKoneig, pushing back these Panzer Grenadiers here. And that's where I would kind of expect to see a very strong push by ColonelKoneig. We are into B phase now. We're 11 minutes and 35 seconds into this game. These FFI Masquerades, right? You want to get them in there. They have the Molotov. They have a CQC machine gun.
Yep.
And so you really don't want your Panzer Grenadiers being traded out for units like that. Sappers making a move in as well. So I would expect a heavy push here, because if he could break that middle portion of this forest line, it actually is an amazing leverage point for either a southern shenanigans or helping a middle collapse.
Yeah, and I agree. And one thing I want to put out is all these glider rifles having bazookas everywhere. He can't bring out and use the Luxes like he wants to, because the bazookas have like a 250 Ranger? Yeah, 250.
Yeah,
so his Panzer Shreks on all your squads. Like you can't bully them with the light armor like you want to.
No, it could be very annoying, and we see Adan having to respond. He's bringing out Panzer Grenadiers. The G43 Panzer Grenadier, I think, is an excellent unit. The problem is you never want to be using Panzer Grenadiers, even if they're a better version in heavy forest fighting, because you're losing the main benefit of the Panzer Grenadier, and that's the MG42 or MG34, depending on the version. You don't want because essentially what you now have is a better Ersatz-Truppen. That's really what you created. The Kosakan Pioneers, that's great. Dump them in there all day, let them throw down inside that forest, but you really don't want to be losing 30-point infantry units that are meant for long-range infantry engagements like that.
Oh, actually, in the long-range fight. He's actually getting a really good engagement with the Sapuas right now, because they couldn't get their TNT off because of some line of sight shenanigans.
He got it now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got some HP there, but we have more sappers going in. He's got more infantry. He has some recon infantry with a sniper rifle.
Ooh, and something we don't see much is actually a recon plane going over and just seeing what's going on. Yeah, just getting some intel right there. We do see some 105 being brought up in the middle as well. A FFI Pack 40 is actually up in the north too. Because while all that's going down south, the north, it looks like Adan is going to try for a counterattack. I think he might have enough substance, though very heavy on the support, kind of light on the infantry. But if that's just meant to hold, that's a lot of resources in an area ColonelKoneig seems content to kind of just let chill for now. And, bomb drop killed off a Kazakhstan Pioneer completely. Those American planes and American bombs do not fuck about, let me tell you what.
No, the American Air Force is very effective in this game. Actually, you can tell ColonelKoneig's feeling comfortable. He bought a 155. That's a very strong indicator to me that he feels like he's in the driver's seat for this game, but he recognizes he's not going to get a 15-9 and end it soon. So
deep play for that 190. He was getting real ballsy for not knowing if there was any AA up or not.
Yeah, you want to be careful with that. The thing that, I mean, it's a decent unit, right? But it's a good plane. You don't want to lose it for, kind of nothing. That 25 mil actually doing some substantial damage to that Focke-Wulf. Yeah, I guess it does indicate also that ColonelKoneig did buy a fighter plane. There's a P-39 there, so we do know he has a minimum 3 planes.
Yes.
So nice little tidbit of info.
And at the same time, we're also seeing that Koenig, even without having the threat of air, had already purchased and put out anti-aircraft in anticipation for it to happen.
You see, this is the 155 buy, so smart by him. He's already killed one of the the FK, the artillery pieces, the FK 288. That's already dead. He's now targeting his 155. He's manually, I think, doing this. So he's shifting now to engage into the heavy forest there, because the Panzer Grenadiers with the Kosakians were able to kind of stabilize that spot, and now you can get the Panzer Grenadiers in the spot where they excel, and that's in that long-range infantry fight. Though we do see a Recon Stewart and a Char M10 coming up as well. So some form of AT needs to be brought in down south, and it looks like he's elected to bring a Panzer IV-G, which honestly for 65 points is pretty cracked.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It just doesn't have the turret rotation speed that you want, but oh no.
If only, I mean, hey, that turret rotation speed can come in clutch sometimes. I don't know what you're talking about.
But for the extra, like 10, 15 points that you'd pay for the other, like, Panzer IVs, like, I'll take it.
5 points. It's 5 points, I think.
Is it?
I think it's, maybe it's 10. It's 10.
Yeah, it's 10 points for that faster rotation speed.
I don't know. There might be, there's an instance where that 10 points matters for that extra turret rotation. I would say it'd be nice if Eugen told you that it has a faster turret rotation speed versus you just need to know obscure World War II knowledge.
It's not just obscure World War II knowledge, it's the fact that we've been playing this game so long that we've been around people data mining this bitch to, like, know these things.
I knew it from War Thunder well before then, so you take that.
Up north, glider rifles are about to kill off this Luke's commander that's been bullying these boys in the forest. So it looks like Adan actually has pretty well re-secured the push and is doing that damage control.
Anytime you're losing leaders is painful, especially in a division where he brings only one car infantry leaders, because he really can't afford to bring more of them. He does have the artillery leaders in B, but we haven't seen one brought out yet. But this infantry push here in the south, this could be actually very important for the course of this game here. Both players have traded. I would say ColonelKonig's traded a little bit better, I think, for the most part. But a strong infantry push here is going to allow him to really flex into that middle town. And that negates the ability for Adan to really utilize his 2-kilometer range advantage, because there's a Tiger doing nothing. We have two guerrillas now basically doing nothing. That's a difficult spot to be in, and you really don't want that Tiger to have to go CQC anywhere. There's another Tiger brought out, actually. That's a very interesting call out.
Yeah, and then if you look in the far south, there's a Sapeur squad just taking a flag for free that should not be taken.
Yeah, and it's gonna be extremely annoying to get it back, because you're gonna have to call out a 30-point infantry unit most likely. Now he does have in C phase 2 cards of infantry, which tells me that both these players changed their decks. I at least anticipated the Maverick on Maverick matchup, because there's no reason for you to bring 2 cards of C phase infantry as a Maverick deck unless you expect a Maverick game to go into the third. What do we used to call it? Balverick, I think is what we used to say.
Yeah.
Balanced Maverick play.
Yeah.
Though I would say 2 cards is still a little excessive, because
Yep.
it feels like he could use something a little extra oomph here in B with phase with the infantry. Because hey, G43 Panzer Grenadiers are great. You need a little more, I think, than that in this day and age of ST2.
Yeah, I'm going to point out real quick, in the center portion, we have Sapeurs and a recon squad with the TNTs fighting off 2 Panzer Grenadier G43s. Other than that, he doesn't have much there, and we're seeing the probing attacks from Adan right now, or Adan. We're also seeing that, like, these small anti-tank guns, like this 37mm killing off one of the Luxes, and this M10 are just bullying things up north. So we're seeing some French armor actually being played out pretty well. But the main thing we have to focus on is this southern central push.
Yeah, this is very important. ColonelKoneig actually going with the napalm bomber now. I've never really seen it used, that one, the P-47 one. Yeah. I have no idea if that's any good, because napalm bombers in SC2 are all over the place in terms of effectiveness. So I'm curious to see if that actually, to me, it didn't look very valuable for the cost.
No, but I think in that case, like, you have to use the napalm bomber either to deny, like, reinforcement roads and shit like that. And I think that's where it really shines. I mean, you could burn out infantry from the fixed positions because they take additional damage if they're in cover in flames. Yeah. Again, these are all things you have to, like, just know from this game, which is crazy that Eugen doesn't point this out.
Oh, another kill there, but the Sapper's right there. So there's another Panzer II Lukes coming in. There's actually 3 Panzer II Lukes coming in. He's really trying to use the auto cannons to help nullify his infantry disadvantage. The problem is it just hasn't worked out. And trading out armor, now there is a good engagement here, but it's too often, like when you want to use autocannons directly in that manner, it really doesn't go well against divisions that have a high amount of bazookas. It's just very hard to make it work.
It's like you have the divisions like Panzerlehr with their Panzer Strikes that just bully heavy tanks too, but then you have these American divisions with the bazookas, or the French ones, because they're armed the same, where these bazookas just bully the bullies, especially if you're looking in these areas where you want to throw the autocannons in a CQC environment, trying to support the infantry environment. But we are seeing the autocannons work in the south right now. The sappers popped out, but the fallbacks are on point right now.
Yeah, and there is a decent push here. This is the problem. I think is that it's a lot to try to rectify that southern position. I mean, that's a lot of income dropped here to get that one sapper unit out of there. ColonelKoneig does have, I think, a good position, especially having the heavy artillery up. Like the heavy artillery allows him to nullify, especially in the counter battery roll. Like it'll slap those ZIS-3s.
Is he gonna use a battery commander to lower the dispersion of this 155 too, to make it like pinpoint accuracy?
I think so. I think that's exactly what he's going to do.
Oh my God.
He's actually going to use the unit the way it's intended to be used.
I have never actually seen someone use it for that purpose.
Not even in your 10v10 place?
I've used it before with F-22s, but like that's for the Soviets to give them radio in the first place.
Right.
But like seeing someone who already has radio, who just like wants to throw the commander there to make the reticule smaller, like that's a first. And in a high level competitive play, definitely a first for me to see.
Yeah, I mean it's just the nature of the front being so static. It's kind of like, hey, I might as well make this heavy artillery piece even better. That Pac 40 has got annihilated by a Guerrilla though, and this Tiger now moving up to engage in this middle portion. And I'm surprised that Adan hasn't done this sooner, because the northern position has yielded ColonelKoneig the double tick. And the double tick at this stage of the game and Maverick on Maverick can be fatal. Like this could be a fatal situation for Adan. You can be like, oh, I've played pretty well. I haven't traded too poorly. I'm still in the game, but now I'm down 15-9, and we're both stuck at 80 points. Like, how am I supposed to get back in the game? So you want to see a very heavy counterattack soon.
Yeah, it's so hard to actually get the proper amount of forces to be able to apply pressure in those areas. When you're 80 on 80, like, what do? You're kind of just wiffle ball batting each other or throwing shit in piecemeal. Like, you see where I'm going with that when it comes to, like, it's really hard to push whenever you're Maverick in C phase, especially against the Maverick player.
Yeah, absolutely, because you end up at this point, like, this will happen a lot in Maverick on Maverick games that go deep, is you get very small amounts of units left on the map, because you've treated each other so hard due to your high incomes that you end up, you both just putting out a couple units, and the fights get extremely ghetto. Airstrikes become infinitely more important if you can snipe singular individual units. We haven't reached that phase yet. We're 23 minutes into this game, but that'll approach faster in a Maverick on Maverick game. Yep. So it's why, like, your artillery staying alive, your artillery getting big kills, your planes getting kills, and these Tigers now they're very important for Adan. Adan needs his Tigers to do some heavy lifting, because his infantry has routinely lost these battles, and his heavy armor now is going to really need to try and change the tide. And I don't think that's actually possible. This is not like the Tiger map.
No, I agree with you. Like, playing in the center. Oh god, we're about to see napalm be thrown on the Tiger. Let's observe. Yeah,
I'm curious to see how that works. Yeah, I've never really. You don't see Group Doty play very much. That's just because ColonelKoneig only plays French divisions. So I don't think it really did anything.
No, because it literally landed. It missed the Tiger in the first place. It landed in front of where the Tiger was, and then it's just. It didn't.
Now it doesn't the Pac 40. So the Pac 40 is going to get a shot in here. Oh, but there might be enough range there. There's a threat to the Tiger. There's a threat to the Tiger.
It's a
pin. Actually, that's a full pin. So that Tiger now, he's on death's door. He's on notice. Like, hey, one mess up and you're dead. And so already this has kind of changed again for Adan. And it just feels like ColonelKoneig kind of has control over the flow of the game, and it's felt like that for pretty much since the outset, where Adan has been in it, right? He's clearly
he's been pushing back. He's doing what he can.
Right, clearly in the game. But it's never felt like ColonelKoneig was in danger. Whereas Adan now, 2 separate times, I felt like, oh, he's in danger. He needs to kind of do something to rectify the situation. And now, especially that Tiger being pinned, I mean, he's going to probably get the kill in the Pack 40 here. Colonel Koenig being a little too aggressive with it. Like, you can tell, kind of like buying your own hype a little bit. He's like, let me get that kill. But there's other Pack 40 being hit by the M3 up there in the north as well. That's a problem. You don't want to lose. You don't want to lose that to the M3. That a direct hit can actually kill it.
And that brings it down to 1 hit point? Jesus, yeah. Even with the fallback order going on for that Pack 40, it's still going to die.
Pack 40 dead.
Yeah, it's
dead right here. Yeah.
Now, one thing I want to point out is the support equipment that Koenig has up right now is allowing him to really push into this center town, utilizing like 2 different axes of like advance going on right now with the 155, with the mortars, you know. So we're seeing some really good maneuvering out of Koenig. And at the same time, we're out of Adan. We're seeing like really good plays out of him when it comes to like trying to push back on these.
Yeah, he's trying to get a little counterattack here. Very good rocket strike by the Focke-Wulfs. That 25 mil is not going to be enough to just, you know, dissuade that, especially in that the positioning there. But the problem is these Grenadiers are going to have a hard time, I think, exploiting that success. So we still have a lot of French infantry, along with Italian partisan units, down a little further south. The 37 mil did die, so that Panzer II Lux. Oh no, it's a 1 HP. That Panzer II Lux has kind of broken through. Honestly, if I was him, I'd try and see if I could get it to the 155. I would like put it on a move order wherever that artillery piece is, and maybe you could get some magic happen. The middle push is stagnating for Colonel Koenig, and that's just he's run into the wall of armor. Now that 37 mil trying to snipe, if he can snipe the mobile wagon, I think that'd be huge. The Focke-Wulf coming in, going to hit the bar right there. Unit, yeah.
Yep, Yep, and then we have the Panzergrenadier getting blown out of the water by the P-47.
Yeah, P-47 just nuked those dudes.
Yeah.
3 more Panzer Grenadier spots going into the middle. The middle is now a full-on grind here. There is a double vet M10 up at the front. If I was Colonel Koenig, I would try and get another M10. I think 2 M10s in this area right here could do some real damage. That Tiger is a little aggressively, a little forward a little aggressively.
Yeah, but I would just say. A little bit. Just that little guy's really getting aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, he is. Like, he's getting aggressive.
He's backing up. He's throwing that ass out at him, too.
Oh, wow. That's disrespectful. Yeah, the Tiger... I mean, the problem is the Tigers have to really get involved. He needs the Tigers to help soak up damage, get his infantry out. It's getting to where these Maverick players are running out of steam against each other, and that's why you see, like, these infantry units are, like, I mean, they're actually kind of few and far between. There's not a ton of them up here. This 57 is kind of in a bad spot for Colonel Koenig. You really don't see him with too poor gun placement, but that right there really has no line of sight to do anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
Impendo getting a side shot here on the Tiger, and he gets the pin. That's huge.
Tiger bounce, Tiger bounce.
Yeah, the bounce there on the Tiger. The Tiger's going to get the reload here faster.
Oh, they trade.
They're gonna trade.
Oh, that's brutal.
It's huge for Colonel Koenig. I mean, Adan does have one more that has broken through here, but I mean, honestly, a P-47 bomb drop in a minute or 2 would kill that Tiger anyways, I think, from the raw HE. The loss of that Tiger to the M10 is pretty substantial. If I'm Colonel Koenig, I think we get an M10 in the middle here, and this is pretty much wrapped up.
And then we have the 105 firing heat shells at the Tiger right now, so...
Yeah, which might kill. You know,
it can.
It can kill.
Oh, it's backed out of range, yeah.
Yeah. You gotta be careful with it. It brings up a 37 and a Pack 40. So, I mean, the Pack 40 will also kill. That Tiger is very aggressively placed.
Yes.
That M10 could use some rearm. Not the M10. The 155 could use some shells. He hungry. One HE left.
He's been firing shells this entire game, which is wild.
That's textbook artillery play there, by the way. If you're going to bring artillery out, I haven't paid attention if he's manually doing or hitting an order. Doesn't matter. If you're going to bring out a big boy artillery piece, it needs to exhaust its ammunition. That you need to get full value out of that artillery, and that's something he's done. Very impressive, because it only has 1 counter battery kill, but, you know, hey, it's done a lot of suppression.
And it doesn't need to kill. It just needs to suppress. And if you look at the different areas that it's been hitting, it's been suppressing the hell out of the Germans. And I'm going to point this out real quick. I think that both players tried playing to the strengths of their divisions, with Adan playing in the center, and he's trying to push there, utilizing his 2K to 1750 advantage, right? But then at the same time, we saw Koenig utilizing his better infantry and the Italians, the French, the glider Americans, and he was able to push through in 2 different spots that just really threw him off balance from the beginning, I'd say. But both players really playing to the strengths of their divisions.
Oh, is he going to get the bazooka off here? Oh, no, the Panzer IV. I was just looking up north. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the game's still going on. We have 4 minutes left of this game. The problem, I think, what I see here for Adan is how do you get the game even? And that's really important in these, single tick games, because eventually about 30 minutes, 35 minutes, the game's going to be over if you single tick the entirety, which ColonelKoneig has. He has not trailed, I think, for a second. This game, if he
did, a little bit.
I
think he was a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. So for the most part, he's maintained position here. Now there is danger in the middle, and that's something that can happen. If the Tiger can stay alive with the mobile wagon, there is potential to maybe break this open a little bit. Now, the problem is there's an M3 gun that could maybe get a side shot. That would be hard to kill. There is the 105, which is in position, and this Pack 40 needs to be put into a better spot by ColonelKoneig, because that could also end this game. That German armor right now, this little armor mini, comp group, whatever you want to call this group here, of that heavily damaged Tiger is really important to Adan's life in this game.
And right now, I think we're seeing the kitchen sink get thrown out there, and
the mobile wagon up front here.
Yeah, no, that's the telltale sign where it's just like, ooh, what's going on here?
Yeah, the mobile wagon, and we see here the armor coming in, and this is what I would do. I would try and see if I could get a bomb drop on it. Now, he's not going to be able to. The P-47 push back, both actually push back by the unvetted mobile wagon. Just
that's
crazy area he's gone over the past couple of years. From once upon a time being worthless to just one of them, just pushing them back. Now, there is 2 grenadiers going here. He's going to try and snag this flag that would get him to a 12-12. He does have a push contingent. Airborne leader, though, getting a kill. Right, and so now, if he unloads, he's unload this here, because he could actually snag 2 flags. Oh, but the Panzer IV-G goes down. He's getting around. A little, not timed quite, right. He could have done that a little sloppy, I think. But there's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a lot. He's throwing ersatz into close combat at this point. Those Grenadier 15Ws.
Oh, they're dead.
He's just trying. Yeah.
They're dead. Yeah, I mean, because also, you can see a point, if he could hold 12-12, he could stay in the game a little bit. The problem is, I think he's traded so poorly the past 5 minutes. And it's something really crazy, right? But when you lose a Tiger for an M10, right, even though you traded, it just, those kind of things add up, right? The mobile wagon isn't going to be, isn't even actually able to support. This Fokker Wolf will come and do damage. Problem is, you needed to drop, 30 seconds ago.
Oh, for the 15Ws, yep.
Yeah, you needed that drop directly on those units a little bit ago. Then you could have really maybe pushed it. And even here, I mean, the Grenadier might push back the Sappers because he does have an MG against the Zarden.
The problem that is the fact that the Sappers, even though they're this stressed out, I'm probably going to eat my own shoes here as a caster, is the fact that it's a disheartened, out in the forest, unvetted, and now, that Fokker Wolf right there that just hit that area, if it was 10 seconds earlier, would have pushed and gotten that flag for him.
The M3 gun did go down, so that's something, a little bit beneficial, but the problem is that we're down to a minute. Oh, we're down to 40 seconds now because he got the double tick due to the northern flag up there ColonelKoneig did.
Oh, yeah, he got pushed through.
He also has a chance to get the southern flag. Horrible buy, just, I guess, timing-wise, or just maybe he's out of stuff. But for Adan, that mobile wagon is basically worthless. There's no point in it because it couldn't do anything to even change the outcome of this game.
The flags are going back and forth just a little bit right now, but at the same time, it's that single tick. Yeah. It's the single tick. It's taking him down so quick.
Oh yeah, he's too far down now. That's too much. But the Tiger died. We missed it. I'm sorry, boys.
We missed that special boy.
Yeah, he was a special boy. He made it pretty far. I wonder what got him. The Pack 40 probably did.
Yeah, the Pack 40 that's there in the side of the forest.
Yeah, we'll go with it.
Yeah, we're gonna go with that. We'll look in the chronology though.
Yeah, P-47 coming out. Yeah, this game's over. It's ColonelKoneig does walk away with the win. It looked like it after especially about the 15-20 minute mark. I felt pretty confident ColonelKoneig had it in the bag, and yeah, they traded roughly, I think, equal for a while. It was that latter 7 to 8 minutes just really cemented ColonelKoneig in the lead.
Yeah, that Pack 40 was what killed it. It was exactly 32-43.
Yeah, I mean, you can see in the early 10 minutes, there's a lot of big swings and kills. There's moments where Adan has a lot, there's moments where ColonelKoneig has a lot, and that kind of trades back and forth. That can make it hard to judge the trades as well as a caster, because if too much shit's dying, it's kind of hard to get an idea of where, who's leading that trade game. But
yeah. And we can only pay attention to so many spots at once, you know, boys, as we're watching. And
Even
trying
with
to get
two.
this. Yeah, even with two of us. But I will point out, if you look at the team stats, though, the kills losses is not far off from each other. Like, we're talking about small traits here and there that just added up.
Yeah, and at the end, the two tiger kills at the end, and in the last 10 minutes of the game were the two big ones. Because when you make an investment into heavy armor and it doesn't produce for you, it's just very painful. It's just going to be very painful for your deck, for your gameplay, for your attempts of winning the match, right? Like, your heavy armor has to perform if you're going to invest 260 points into it. And I highly doubt he got even 200 points of value out of the two tanks in terms of just raw killing power.
Yeah, no, because like if you even just look at the trade itself, the M10 is what, 85 points, 65 points?
65 points. Yeah, it's cheap. M10's very cheap. That's why I said like M10's great on that map because you know there are issues with it. It's not perfect, but you don't need that much. You know you don't need it to do a ton in that area right there. And then the Tiger, problem is the Tiger you're paying double the price for a heavy tank when you know pack 40s like you saw a pack 40, a well-placed pack 40 can end your heavy tank's life real quick.
Yep, and that's just what we saw here on this map. And I really like this map just because it allows different play styles to actually shine in a way. Now,
yeah, it was a good game.
Now,
a very good game. The map's good.
With that, we're going to start casting the Seal Division League series. So like, subscribe, you know, come back to us for some more fun and exciting games.
We're so good.
Oh, yeah, we make you laugh. Come on, you know, admit it. And
like,
with that,
subscribe.
Graham, you have anything you want to add before the end?
Hit the like button.
All right, and with that, thank you everyone for watching this far. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next cast. Bye now.